The Vice President and I and all of us here have been working very hard to pass the legislation that is going to beat this virus.
Yes, science!
Can we segue now into something more pressing?
The floor is yours, Senator.
I want to ask you about something else that's been in the news. Back in March, when the president said that Vice President Harris would be his border czar, he said she's the most qualified person to help in stemming the movement of so many folks, stemming the migration to our southern border. That's President Biden. Do you report to her?
Senator, I report to the Vice President and the President, and your question misstates the facts. The President did not appoint the Vice President to be the border czar.
The President putting Vice President Kamala Harris in charge of stemming migration from Central America.
He asked her to lead the effort in addressing the root causes of irregular migration. Those are two different things.
I see. So is she working closely with you on that important endeavor?
Where is the border czar? Vice President Harris.
How often do you meet with her?
I am certainly in close touch with the Vice President.
When's the last time you talked to her about securing the border?
Several weeks ago.
How often do you meet with her?
I am certainly in close touch with the Vice President.
How often do you meet on this subject?
I've met with the Vice President more than a handful of times.
But more than a handful? Well, so what's that mean? 6 or 7 times in the last year?
I am in close touch.
So she's very involved in the department's policies and in what's happening at the southern border. You've traveled to the border together?
Where in the hell is Kamala?
The Vice President's focus is on addressing the root cause.
I heard your testimony. I'm asking you a question. My question is, do you travel to the border together? Are you devising policies together?
Our Vice President Harris, our border czar, what kind of grade would you give her?
Vice President Harris is not the border czar.
We saw it when she was in Paris, right? And she has a big shopping bag in her hand. And somebody, I guess from the European press, got off a question, or somebody did, asking, what do you think of what's going on at the Ukraine border right now, where there are currently about 1,000 Russian troops amassing? She says, well, that's classified information. I really can't talk about it. Classified information, it's on the news everywhere. Do you have a comment for the Ukrainian people? Do you have their back? Is the administration on this? Or you just said it's just something we're really focused on right now. So
I have traveled to the border once with the Vice President to El Paso, Texas, so that she could see firsthand the challenges that we face.
So what is she doing exactly? You said she's not the border czar, that's not her role. We were wrong about that. She's not doing anything like that. She's doing something very different, is what your testimony is, but you're not actually consulting with her on any policy. So what is it that she's doing exactly?
Senator, as I have repeatedly testified, she is focused on addressing the root causes of irregular migration in the context of the migration challenge.
How's that been going?
That is we are advancing considerably.
We've made progress.
her past statements should have disqualified her from the president even considering her, despite the fact that she was the vice president. She compared ICE to the KKK. She said that illegal border crossings should be legal. She said these things as a senator and as a candidate. So if those are your two positions, how do you possibly fix a situation like this?
You think the policies are working?
It is a crisis. It is a crisis that was created by the Biden administration, by their own policies.
Do you think she's the right person to handle this task?
I mean, no. I mean, it's. Oh, Kamala Harris is coming to Texas.
Right.
The border crisis is over.
Sit down, you retard.
Maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, Harris wasn't the right person for the job, right? She didn't even get to 2020 as a 2020 presidential candidate. She dropped out before the first votes were cast in Iowa months before. The border, for which she is somehow in charge of, is a disaster by all accounts. She is currently polling at 28% approval. That goes well beyond one side of the aisle in partisanship. Her own party doesn't like her, never really has.
Where's your daddy and your mommy, right? Do you want to go back? Do you want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Let's go, Brandon.
Fuck Joe Biden.
Let's go.